Welcome to a special Jersey baseball show on our Generation Next 2.0 journey. We are talking to a lot of 2022s, 23s, outstanding players with a New Jersey background, showing why Jersey is the best state in the country when it comes to this sort of thing. And we have a special guest today. It's Sebastian Pisacreta, the longtime Bishop Eustace catcher, whose journey has taken a turn here that we're going to talk about. He's in a much warmer place than we are right now. He's down in Florida, and not a lot of people know that his journey's kind of diverged a little bit. We do all know that he's a Pitt verbal commit, and if we didn't know, we certainly know that now by his wardrobe choice today. But Sebastian, welcome. First of all, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
100%. Let's talk business, and a lot of guys know here. But you received an opportunity to kind of different than most people's traditional high school journey. You're down in Florida now. You'll be there for the next, my math isn't any good, so we'll say 2 years. And tell us about where you are, the Next Level Academy down in the Orlando area, how all this came about, and let's start with that.
Yeah, so originally I was at Eustace for 3 years and was going to be my 4th year. And, I was set on going to this academy next year for my postgrad year. And, they called me up in August. I was so set on going to Eustace for my senior year. They called me up in August, say, yo, what does it take to get you down this year? I really thought about it. I was so set on going to Eustace. And they said, just come down, try it for a week. So I said, okay, I'll go try it for a week. And I really didn't want to. I really didn't. I was so set on Eustace, and I just wanted to have my senior Eustace with all my friends and with that group of guys at Eustace. And I went down there and it just opened my eyes. And just the amount of baseball they play, the weather was beautiful. And it was just like, why not do this? Why not play baseball all day long and just have fun with it, and just making me a better baseball player. You lift every day, hit every day, throw. You're working on your craft every day. And that's all I want to do in baseball. I want to be the best version of myself and get ready for that ACC baseball.
Yeah, and anybody who knows you knows back home, you'd be the kind of guy who'd shovel the field out so you could play 365 days a year. Back here, you can put away the shovel now, I think, for a while, right? You can play those 365 without it.
For sure.
It's a unique thing, obviously. I'm sure they probably had a pretty good idea that once you came down and saw it, people don't spend a week down in Orlando and come back home if they don't have to.
Yeah, yeah.
What's it like down there? What's it like down there?
Yeah, so I'm in an apartment right now with a teammate of mine, and then our also strength coach is 24. My teammates from DR. And it's so much fun. I get to wake up at 9 o'clock every day, go to practice at 10:30. It's about 10:30 to 4:30 every day. You get in, you lift right away. You're lifting for about an hour and a half. Then we hit for about another hour and a half, go to lunch. And then we do defensive stuff in the afternoon. And I really recommend it to anyone. I mean, this opportunity was a blessing. I know people were very, they wanted me to do this. And I'm very grateful that people are accepting of me doing this as well.
How do they do? Is it like online classes? Okay.
Yeah, so we do online classes. I'm finishing out my credits right now for high school, and then next year I'll start my college classes to get credits for college.
And that's neat because that'll add up to make your life a little bit easier and spread out at Pitt, I'm sure, right? So let's talk about what you had here at Eustace. I shouldn't say here, but back in New Jersey. You still obviously live there. It's still very important to you. I know you said you'll always proudly rep Jersey wherever you go. I got to imagine that was the toughest thing, because then everything else seems like, oh my gosh, what the best opportunity, like logically, that's the best opportunity you could ever have for what your goals are. But tell us about, how special a place that is to you. Getting to play with your boys there, what it was, because that had to have been the only thing that was like weighing on your mind, I think, about staying back, I'm sure.
For sure. Eustace is always home to me. I was there for 3 years. I mean, Matteo, Johnny Piacentino, they were seniors when I was a freshman. They took great leadership and they showed me the path to be a great Eustace baseball player. And there's plenty of great Eustace baseball players. Then my sophomore year, great leaders in Chase Conklin, Chuck Sanzio, all those kids. And then it gets into the real show when I get to play my sophomore year. We didn't have a season. We had that last dance, which was super fun. And then my junior year last year with Anselm, and that season was very historical, in my opinion. That season was so much fun. And I wouldn't take that season for granted for anything.
Yeah. The reputation you have as a catcher, I mean, I think Anthony could make the majors and you're still going to always be his favorite catcher to throw to. And hopefully he makes the majors for the Pirates the same while you're out at Pitt would be the best, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What do you say about him and also, the what you learn from the guys that are older than you at Eustace?
Yeah. So I'll tell you a quick story real quick. So Ant he didn't even step into Eustace as a class yet. We have Saturday morning workouts in the winter for Eustace, which are captain practices. And he showed up to one of them, his first practice. And Monday was his first day of school. He showed up and everyone was like in shock that he was here. And they're early, like 7 a.m. So you got to wake up early for them. And we were all shocked he was here. So he strolls in with his gallon of water, his bands on his neck. And he's just ready to go. He's ready to practice, ready to start this new chapter. We warm up and all that, and then we do our live ABs. Ant wants to throw 15 pitches. Nobody wanted to catch him. I was a sophomore catcher at the time. Never really caught velo in my life, and I got to not catch this kid because no one else wanted to catch him. So I'm catching this funky windup. He's just standing up and throwing. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. He steps on the mound. First pitch I didn't have to move my glove. It was just right there. Nasty movement, all that. But before that, he comes up to me. I'm like, yo, just take it easy. Just take it easy. He's like, it's 8 a.m. I'm going to give you the 8 a.m. special. He's sitting 90 to 92. I'm like, he's such a hard, determined working kid. And I just learned so much from him, just as friends and on the baseball field or off the baseball field, whether it's in the weight room. His throwing, the way he takes care of his arm, and that experience itself, starting junior year with the last dance, we struggled a little bit. Just we felt we weren't on the same page because that Vineland game, he didn't throw his best, but we weren't really working together. Then his Cherokee game in the last dance, again, same thing. He battled an injury that game, but you could just tell we weren't on the same page. And that Gloucester Catholic game, the game he shoved, it clicked. And you could just see it clicked. And I wanted to make a difference for his senior year. So that winter, I told him, I'm going to catch all your bullpens, no matter what it was. He always asked me to come when there were scouts or just so he could look good and just have someone to throw to that he had confidence in. So I'd always go there for him, but I wouldn't go there all the time. So that last winter, I went just to catch him and make me better, and then also have his confidence in me so we could be on the same page. And I felt like he did his thing, and it was just a crazy experience. And I love catching him, and I will miss catching him, but hopefully we can be teammates again.
Special catching a guy that might as well have been a first round pick, right? First pick of the early pick in the second round. I mean, your top 40 pick overall. That's got to be something you're always gonna that year or two you're gonna always look back on.
For sure. That's something I'll never forget.
Yeah. What did it mean to you that those who you obviously had to tell certain people at Eustace that you were leaving? What did it mean to you that they were obviously upset that you were leaving? You're you were the captain pretty much, right? Special guy coming back, but also at the same time, understanding of what your dreams are and supportive of you pushing for your goals.
Yeah. I mean, I was very happy about that. I thought they would be upset, and it just made me feel better and felt like I made the right decision when they were accepting of me leaving. You know, we wanted to repeat what we did last year with different groups of guys, because we had a very big senior class last year. And then we were very young this year, and we had some big guys in Matt Augustin, Kirkner, and Oveka, and Raf Rogers, and all those guys. And I think they're all going to go off this year. And I mean, I'll still be supporting them because I got to get used to our season starting in January now, which is, I still think I have 3 months of training to do, but I don't. I only have a month and a half, which is absurd. But we end in May. So I'll be at a lot of the games. And Coach Trope, I called him, and he was very accepting of me leaving. He was upset, of course, but he was very happy for me. And I saw him about a month ago, gave him a big hug, and it was just cool. I was very happy about that.
When is your first game?
That I don't know. Apparently it's the 3rd week of January, and we have a 60-game season, traveling all up across the East Coast, which is
how far up the East Coast you get to play?
I believe North Carolina.
Okay. So 60 games in high school as opposed to 24, 25. I guess that probably also is an indication of what that's literally 100 extra at bats a year, right?
Yeah. I mean, they do a little different down here because it's an academy and they play other academies. So they do a 3-game series, kind of like college.
Yeah.
7-inning games on Friday. Saturday, do a 9-inning game. So
is that another? I mean, there's so many reasons that this makes sense for you for what your goals are. That season now, because so many guys go off to college and they're the 56 games in the short amount of time, the 3 months basically. Guys hit a wall their freshman year. It's just natural. It's the biggest year they've played. That's not going to be quite as big a thing for you, having gone through it a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm facing 90 plus every day and just getting used to it so I can get ready for this ACC. Because I know it's no joke. It's Power 5 baseball, and you just got to be ready for it. And I don't want to be a cheerleader. I want to come in and make an immediate impact with Pitt, and just show them how good I am and be the best version of myself.
I say you said that earlier. That's and anybody who knows that you're going there to make your mark on that program.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Was he pitcher for the Mariners? He comes in every day and works out. And I was listening to him talk to a coach, and he's like, "If I don't pitch good this year, I know it wasn't my hard work that didn't get me there and didn't make me pitch good. So if I give it my all, and I look back and say, I gave it my all, and maybe the turnout didn't come as I wanted to, but I gave it my all, and I worked the hardest I could to be the best player I could be."
Yep, that's all we can do. How did we get to Pitt? How did Pittsburgh become your school? How did that stand out from the others?
So I went to junior nationals last year. I believe it was in June. And they weren't even on my radar at the time, but I saw them watching me. There was a lot of schools there, and they were there. And they called me before WWA, like 2 days before. And they're like, "Hey, we're really interested in you. We're going to come watch you play." And then we just started building our communication. The first person I talked to was Coach McGahee. Loved him. He just immediate bond there. So he watched me play one game in WWA, and I hit a double. I threw a kid out, and I was feeling good. And they called me after. They gave me an offer. And then I talked to Coach Bell, Coach Mazzaraco, which was a catcher for the Reds and the Mets. Mm-hmm. That Coach Mazzaraco really sold me. I wanted to work with a good catching coach and someone that could make me better defensively, because that was always my problem. I wasn't always a catcher. I started catching when I was about 13. And I wanted to work with someone that could make me better defensively. And we just saw catching the same way, just helping our pitchers out, communicating, all this stuff. And he talked about the best catchers in each 4 quadrants and how they caught the ball. which was insane. Like he said, JT's the best at catching the low and away pitch. Sandy Leon's best at catching the up and away. Up and in pitch. It was just insane to me. And I'm like, I'm sold. Coach Bell was at Florida State, and he's building something. I think they're going to be a top program in the ACC. Sky Duff's there right now. Obviously, I talked to him. Committed. And he just said he loved it. And I went up there, saw it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So why catching? What is it about the position that you love and fits your personality so well? Because you said you kind of became a catcher. You weren't, one of those kids who was wearing a mask at like age 3. But why does it fit you so well?
I think it fits me well because I'm in every pitch. I think I help my pitchers out more than anything. It's all about them and making them feel comfortable. John McAdams, my Arsenal coach, when I was really younger, he saw my arm and he's like, he just stuck me back there just to see how I like it. And I loved it. Like, I thank him for putting me back there and showing me this, because I was always a corner guy, outfielder, pitcher. Just use my arm, and that's that.
Yeah. Looking back, what does Bishop Eustace mean to you, Bishop Eustace baseball and the school itself?
It's a family there. Anyone in Jersey, anyone that lives in Morristown, Cherry Hill, I just recommend it to anyone. It's a great school. It's a family atmosphere, and they're all about supporting one each other. The teachers, the other students there, and again, the baseball coach. You got Nicky Delgado, one of the best coaches in New Jersey, in my opinion. And then Tropiano, his history just shows that he's one of the greatest coaches as well. So just the two of them combined will make you a better baseball player. Just look at all the college athletes now that went to Eustace: Sky Duff, Matt Orlando, Johnny Passatina, Chuck Sanzio. I mean, you got 3 pro guys right now, and Zach Allen, Salamito, and Smeltzer.
Yeah.
It just says itself.
It's crazy. Forgot about Devin. You're right. That's he's the old man now. What would you be, what would your sport be if it weren't baseball? If you could be D1 and anything else?
Golf. I love golfing. Every time I come back home, I go golfing with Ann, a couple Eustace boys. Golf doesn't love me, but I love golf.
Well, yeah, you kind of answered my question there. Do you love it because you're good, or do you love it because it's fun?
No, I love it. I'm not the greatest golfer. I just have fun with it.
What's your best round?
What?
What's your best round?
I don't keep track because it's that bad.
Can you break 100 is the question.
On a good day, yeah.
Okay. Hey, you play fast, you enjoy it. I think you can play with anybody. It doesn't really matter, right? Other than baseball, other than Eustace, what's the one thing you miss most about New Jersey? My
family. Without them, I wouldn't be here. And I thank them every day for giving me this opportunity and letting me be 1,000 miles away from them. I call them every night, and I have to cook, clean on my own. So I'll be calling them, asking my mom for recipes and all that stuff.
Food-wise, what's one thing better in Florida than Jersey, and what's one thing that's much worse?
So better, the Mexican food. There's a Puerto Rican place about 10 minutes away from me, and I go there all the time. It's just so much better. Rice, beans, chickens are so much better here. But the one thing that stinks here, there's no good pizza spots at all. And it really bothers me, because up there we're spoiled with pizza. I go to Connecticut. My family's from Connecticut.
Even better up there. Yeah.
I go there all the time for pizza, Pepe's, and all that. It's just so much. It's so disappointing how bad pizza is here. And I was so upset about it.
I think it is like anywhere outside of our area. It just,
you might be right.
And even if it's like okay, and usually it's not, but it's like it's just, when you're at the top, and everywhere you go is going to be disappointing. And that's and cheesesteaks obviously, but that's a given, I think. But pizza's the big one. But you're right, Mexican food, it's not just like Chipotle is what that's
I still go there, but you got your Puerto Rican places, your Tex-Mex, all that stuff, which is amazing.
For sure. Been to Disney World yet?
Of course, and Universal.
Favorite part of both?
The rides are amazing. I
So
love.
what rides should be the
So there's this new one at Universal. It's like this Jurassic World one. That one's insane. I went on that one. It came out about a year ago. And it was amazing. Everyone I tell that's coming down here for a senior trip and all that, I'm telling them to go on that ride.
Pre-game or game day music, your preference?
I'm listening. I'm a big Pop Smoke guy. That's what I put on before my games. He just gets me ready to go.
We talked a bit before we started about everybody's journey being different. What does it mean to you that, like I said, your friends have been accepting? I mean, this is your journey. This is you doing what you feel is going to put you in there, because your goals are, I mean, I know we say, just to get to Pitt and not be a cheerleader, but there's goals beyond that too, I'm sure. So just to be able to have this journey, what does it mean to you?
It means a lot to me. Everyone's journey is different. It's just crazy that my journey is 1,000 miles away from my home. And again, I recommend to anyone who just wants to be a great baseball player and wants to make the best out of themselves. But I'm very, very thankful for my journey.
Absolutely. Sebastian Pisacreta has been our guest today. The Next Level Academy down in Florida, but always here, Bishop Eustace, South Jersey, and always will be a Jersey guy, and certainly will be home this summer, and looking forward to connecting and seeing him at some South Jersey Kings games too.
For sure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of the day, everyone. Thanks for watching this edition of Jersey Baseball Show, and we will see you next time.